Here we are in Croydon, in sunny Croydon, and today we've decided to sort of turn the gaze into people's homes. How do husband and wife, generally, Indian from the Indian community, manage to kind of share the burden at home? Who does most of the work? And the general perception is that Indian men are brought up in a way where they mostly don't do any work at home at all. But can they get away with that when they're living in a country like the UK? You're nodding your head vigorously, sir. Tell me, are you doing a lot of work at home?
Sure, yeah, it's a very, very good point actually. So when I used to be in India, I was born in India actually, and I used to be in Mumbai, and there literally I used to live with my parents. And I did not know anything. I never knew what washing my dress meant, what even cleaning the house meant, what even ironing my clothes meant, because everything was taken care of.
There's always a dhobi and
there's a dhobi, there's a
domestic
cook
help, and if all else goes wrong, there's always mum to take care of it.
Exactly, and the focus was study, do well, try to maybe come first in everything. And literally that meant we were so focused on just studying.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very different way of living your life. Versus having moved over to UK, you're suddenly in a world where there's no support. There's no mom around there who can help you for something. No dad who can go and maybe pay the bills. So it's just you and your wife and possibly the kid if you have one to really do everything in life. But I think there's technology out there. There's technology that makes life slightly easier versus having to, let's say, wash clothes manually or iron clothes in a different way.
Are most Indian men mama's boys? Is that still true?
Yes, very much. My husband is definitely. He calls her more than me. So he calls her at least. Yeah, no, not even now. Yeah.
Wife's boy.
Before
Before marriage, mama's boy. Yeah.
Okay.
After marriage.
What's that?
So the son is a son. So I am part
Are
of
you a
family.
mama's boy?
I am actually. So
You're proud to say that.
I am actually. I'm very proud and I'm very fortunate actually. I would say because I'm one of the two boys in the house and there's another girl. And being the youngest boy, I'm getting so much of a preferential treatment.
So you're not only your mama's boy, but you're sort of the most spoiled center of attraction. And tell me, I mean, how does that affect married life? Because once you're married and you have to do all of this work, do Indian men come forward and help out? Or tell me your own experience.
I mean, he does help. He's a hardcore non-vegetarian and I'm a pure vegetarian. So whenever he wants to have non-veg food, he cooks for me as well. He washes the dishes, he cleans the kitchen. So that is the best thing. He's helping me that way.
And this is after how many years of marriage?
It will be 5 this year. Yeah.
So usually, does it take about 5 years by the time they actually husbands start to do all of this?
I know him from college. So we know each other from 10 years.
So you've been training him for 10 years now. Okay. 10 years of training.
Lucky.
I can't let him go now.
It's a well-trained husband. Well-trained.
I'm a bit more lucky because I eat non-vegetarian.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't eat.
Yeah.
But she cooks for me.
She
So
cooks
I'm
for
lucky.
you. Okay.
And she cooks really well.
Your wife's training has not gone like her training has.
Learn from his husband.
Yeah,
Her husband, yeah.
Her husband, absolutely. So what work do you do at home? I'm
Normally
assuming you do a lot of work. You do everything. Yeah.
Cleaning dishes, that's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Cleaning dishes, that's the main job I do.
Yeah.
Other than that, shopping for stuff.
Is your husband a mama's boy as well?
Yeah, he is kind of. I will not say that. From the college, he is outside. He is separated from last, I'll say, 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So not that much effect, but everyday calling and that are the things should happen.
Yeah.
I love this fact that I also call every day my mom. How is she?
You're also mama's girl and a mama's boy.
So we have a kind of balance. Yeah, make it separate.
And tell me about housework. I mean, is it? Have you been able to train your husband like your friend here?
No training. I'm failed.
Does he cook for you ever?
Yeah, no. He cooked once, 2011.
2011. What are your duties?
So
Watching television and reading the paper.
No, not really. So I think that's a stereotype people have of people who live in UK. I don't know what it is, but to be very, very frank with you, I think I agree with what she said. It's a division of labor, and that labor could be anything. For example, for her being at home mom, her division is maybe more cooking and housework.
Yeah.
Versus because for us, both of us are working. We are like working pretty long hours.
Yeah.
We work from 7 in the morning till almost 10 at night every day, office work. Which means that we need to divide between us who does work and home. So she does the cooking, which is a very creative work, and I appreciate her for that. And I do rest of the stuff around using the dishwasher or the microwave or the oven and things like that. And even cleaning the house. And I don't think any work is good or bad.
Yeah.
It's as long as you can divide it and both are happy doing it, I think it's workable.
His training is also pretty much gone the right way, huh? You have to make.
Working. If both are working, you have to take care of certain things in different way.
But of course, there's a serious. Yeah, you're right.
There is a bit of compromisation also because I'm a very sports person. I play badminton like almost 5 days a week. I go for running. I do a lot of gyms, and my husband has to skip his because he wants me to go because I can't. One day if I don't go gym, I can't sleep. So he is very much like, okay, you want to go running, you go first. So he skips that. That compromisation automatically comes when you leave together and all. I just tell him that I want to go today. So he will say, okay, you go. So when I come, if he wants to go late in the evening, he goes. Otherwise, he skips it. So that's how.
Because
it's
in
automatically.
my household, my wife hates sports. She doesn't play sports. She doesn't watch sports. So on Fridays, it's always a conflict. There will be Premier League. I'm a fan of Arsenal. Arsenal game on. Or do we cook and go someone else's place? It's always a conflict there.
And also, so who wins usually? You'll say you, but realistically.
Let me be honest, she wins. But she lets me win once in a while as well.
She lets you win once in a while.
No, I think that's so true. Maybe that's because we're outside India. We typically tend to think that our wife should be taken care of more because there's no mom around, there's no mother-in-law, father-in-law. So I think we somehow have a more softer corner. So even in my case, I actually started coming for badminton because of my wife. Because she wanted to play, she wanted to get into that mode. And I used to babysit at home when she goes out to play badminton. So I think it's a compromise.
Good balance. Now, whenever you ask anybody living abroad, what is that one thing that you miss about back home? Pat comes the reply. You don't even have to wait for a second, and people say it's generally parents, and because that's sort of a bond that is very, very difficult to feel. You always want to talk to your parents on a good day, on a bad day. You always want to be able to talk to your parents and be in touch with your parents. But obviously, there are lots of problems when kids are living in this country and parents are living in India, keeping in touch, and obviously different cultures, and also lots of grandparents often tell me they're most afraid of their grandchildren growing up as these weird mixed up Indian come British kids. Tell me, I'll start this off from your perspective. You're a doctor, you live here in Croydon. Tell me, I mean, this whole thing of keeping in touch with your parents and all of that. If I ask you the stereotypical question, what's that one thing you miss most about India? Is it parents?
It's the same thing. It's the parents and the family over there. So, but we have got an advantage that I have been in UK since 10 years, and since year one, when I came here, my parents have been coming during the summertime over here to stay with us. So we had advantage of having them here for 2-3 months with us. So that was kind of mellow downing things about like missing family and missing parents.
Because you knew that they're coming at the end of every year, for 2-3 months anyway. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I want to ask you, this whole thing, in India, everyone thinks that you send your kids abroad and great, that's fantastic. But the story doesn't stop there, obviously. Keeping in touch with your children and not having them around all the time. These are difficult चीजें होती हैं. I mean, not having your sons and daughters to be there for you. How do you cope with this?
Because nowadays, because of the technology, we always keep in touch with our kids, grandchildren, son, daughter-in-law by the Skype. So every week we talk for a couple of hours, and we can see each other. We can see our granddaughter. She also can see us. So she will recognize us, his grandfather, grandmother. So we don't find any problem nowadays.
But sir, obviously that thing about having them around is different, isn't it? I mean,
But we come every year for a couple of months, and generally we come in the summer, so May, June, and they come during December, January. So every 6 months we meet. Sometimes in India, if our son is there, away, suppose I am staying in Gujarat, if suppose my son is at Chennai or Calcutta, then it is difficult to meet every year. But we meet every 6 months. So then we don't find any problem.
You're saying that being in London is almost easier than being in Chennai or
It takes hardly it is 8 to 10 hours of flight.
Tell me, why is this decision of sending your son abroad and the fact that now he's British, he's settled here in Britain, good decision?
Yeah. Certainly, I feel so.
Why?
Because first thing that he's a doctor, and in the super specialty study, the England is most we prefer for higher studies. Second is the quality of life. Here is much better. We can earn more money in India, but quality of life in England is much better.
Which I find interesting. I mean, about 10 or 15 years ago, people would have said that even money and lifestyle both are better. Both are better abroad. So I'll ask you. You live in Pune and you've come here for the summer. Tell me. I mean, this whole thing of kids living abroad is that hard to deal with for you?
No, not at all. Because अभी मैं हिंदी में बात कर रहा हूँ तो पूना में रहते हुए भी मैं देख रहा हूँ कि जब से ये लोग आए हैं इसके हर साल से मैं 6 महीने में यहाँ आता हूँ, 6 महीने वहाँ जाता हूँ. वहाँ भी मेरे ग्रैंड सन्स हैं, यहाँ भी ग्रैंड सन हैं, तो उनको देखना मुझे अच्छा लगता है. तो 6-6 महीने में यहाँ आना, वहाँ जाना, यहाँ की लाइफस्टाइल मुझे भी अच्छी लगती है और वहाँ भी जाने के बाद अच्छा लगता है. ये लोग भी वहाँ आते हैं, मिलना जुलना हो जाता है.
Anything that you're sort of anxious about, the fact that you don't have your parents around you all the time, is there something that you're worried about their health, about their, do all of that, does all of that come into play?
That's the main worry for all of us. Like, whoever we are living here, we always worry about them. Not only miss them, but we always worry about their health. Because, now they are, old and, they require our support. But, somehow we have managed to escape from that responsibility and came over here. So we find it very difficult. I mean, and in fact, I have always...
At some level, do you feel a bit guilty, the fact that, you're not around all the time?
Quite a lot of levels. So, but advantage is like, because they have been coming here, we try to compensate with that sort of guilt. That, we try to do things what they like and, make them happy here and look after them.
Okay. Is that your thing as well? I mean, do you feel a bit like some tinge of guilt that, you're not around there to kind of, help them? And
because, for example, my in-laws, they live alone. They're in Pune. Of course, my sister-in-law is there. But still, if we are with them, that's different. We do have that guilt, as you said, that, supporting them when need be. So that bit is always there.
It's always there. What would the parents say to their kids? What would you say to your son? Would you say, don't be guilty, don't worry, we are doing well? Or would you say that...
I think that they have got a long wait in life. We are old people. Hardly we have got few years. So for few years, if I feel that my son should be with me, I feel guilty. On the contrary, because I would like him to come over here. He has got a better future over here. So I feel that he should not feel guilty. On the contrary, we feel guilty sometimes because they are worried about us.
Parents, wherever you may go, they'll always be selfless and they'll always have... what about you, sir? Aap kya kahenge? This, because a lot of young people, of this generation do feel this sort of guilt, do feel this anxiety that, we're not there to take care of our parents, take them to sort of hospital appointment, or, not there to sort of check on them regularly. वो आप क्या कहेंगे?
मैं तो ये कहूँगा, देखिए, मैं तो ना गिल्ट भी नहीं महसूस करता हूँ, ना इनको गिल्ट महसूस कराने की कोशिश करता हूँ. इनका यदि यहाँ पे रहना है और मैं वहाँ पे हूँ, यदि मुझे कुछ होता है या मुझे कहीं जाना है, किसी हॉस्पिटल में जाना है, किसी की, मैं बोलता हूँ ठीक है, आप वहाँ रहिए, यहाँ पे मैं मैनेज कर लूँगा, कोई बात नहीं है. डॉक्टर्स भी मेरे फ्रेंड्स हैं. आपको यदि आ सकते हैं तो आप लोग आ सकते हैं, अदरवाइज नहीं तो मैनेज हो जाता है, ऐसी बात नहीं है. यहाँ पे जो डिफ़िकल्टी इनको फेस करनी पड़ती है वो बहुत मुश्किल है, क्योंकि हर बार समझो अब हम लोग तो अब देखिए ओल्ड हो रहे हैं, तो हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ तो लगा ही रहता है. तो ऑल द वाइल दे कैन नॉट कम टू अस. तो हम तो ये बोलते हैं इनको कि आप वहीं रहिए, जितना हो सकता है आप आ सकते हैं तो अच्छी बात है, नहीं आ सकते तो कोई बात नहीं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे बच्चों का भी एक ऐसा है कि स्कूल में छुट्टियाँ मिलनी मुश्किल पड़ती है. जब उनकी छुट्टी होगी तभी इनको छुट्टी ले सकते हैं, वैसे बच्चों को भी ला सकते नहीं हैं. तो सब ये डिफ़िकल्टी देख करके तो हमको भी उनके ऊपर सोचना पड़ता ही है ना, तो वो बोलते हैं.
बिल्कुल. और एक आखिरी सवाल आपसे पूछूंगा कि आपको कहीं लगता है that कहीं ना कहीं एक बार obviously बच्चे मूव हो गए abroad और फिर obviously they have their families there, they have their life there, कहीं ना कहीं they'll lose sort of touch with India, they'll lose completely, they'll be British citizens altogether. आपको कहीं do you feel some sort of a tinge of
मैं तो ये कहता हूँ कि जो बच्चे यहाँ हैं ठीक है, सीख रहे हैं, यहाँ यहीं रहेंगे, ये तो हमें भी मालूम है, लेकिन वहाँ पे जो हमारे कुछ रिलेटिव्स हैं तो ये लोग वहाँ पे लेके आने ही वाले हैं. तो साल में 2 साल में 3 साल में कभी तो इंटरेक्ट होता ही है, तो वो भी फील करते हैं. तो जैसा हम लोगों से इंटरेक्शन उनका होता है वैसे उनसे भी होता है. और उनसे बोलना भी होता है बीच बीच में, तो वो उसका मतलब इंटरेक्शन होता ही रहता है। वो ये नहीं फील करते हैं, हम लोग भी नहीं फील करते हैं, वहाँ के लोग भी नहीं फील करते हैं, यहाँ भी नहीं ये फील करते हैं। बच्चे तो जाते हैं वहाँ पे, मिलते हैं, सबसे खेलते हैं, फिर वापस आ जाते हैं।
Your own experience of living abroad, how many years have you been abroad, and your whole experience of sort of your parents are in India, is that easy to deal with?
No, it's not easy to deal with. I've been here 10 years now, and I mean, it's always it's you kind of have half of yourself really there and half of yourself here. So there are times when you feel you're not entirely here, but I mean, it's okay because you're here for a purpose. You're here for an objective, so you kind of it's.
What is that objective to you?
I mean, it's about. It's this sort of, you're here on a professional front. So you come here to work, you come here to, earn your bucks. And that's exactly what you're here for. So you probably, most of us might stay on, most of us might not. So it's.
Are you planning to go back?
I honestly, at this point, I'm not too sure, to be honest. So.
But it's a thought that keeps coming to more.
It's a thought that keeps coming back all the time. And it's like, do you belong here? Sometimes the answer just comes, a big no comes straight at you. Yeah. You don't really belong here. But there are times when you feel fantastically, okay, I belong here. And do I have to, does the place really matter? It doesn't probably. Like on a day to day, I don't feel I don't belong to India. I've got all my Indian friends around me and it feels fantastic. So it's like, not about where you are, at what time, it's about the company you have, it's the place where you're in, and that kind of makes up your life at some point in time.
Okay. So, आप मुझे बताइए that this whole thing of parents in India usually say that it's great to send kids abroad and they have a great life there, but obviously the story doesn't end there. There are lots of other issues related to that. Kids are living abroad. You don't have them around you. You can't just sort of pick up the phone and say, hey, can you just come today? We are celebrating your mom's birthday. Come here. Do you miss having your kids around you?
कभी कभी मिस करते हैं, बाकी अभी तो आदत हो गई है, ऐसा कुछ ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। और हमारे एरिया में तो मैक्सिमम NRIs होते हैं, गुजरात एंड दैट टू आनंद डिस्ट्रिक्ट, इसलिए हमको तो ऐसा लगता ही नहीं है।
तो आप एक दूसरे के साथ ये डिस्कस करते हैं कि अरे आपके भी बच्चे अब्रॉड, हमारे भी बच्चे अब्रॉड।
हाँ, इसलिए थोड़ा फर्क पड़ता है, लेकिन इतना ज़्यादा नहीं। और फोन पे बात करते हैं, स्काइप पर करते हैं। ये लोग विंटर में आते हैं, हम समर में आ जाते हैं।
Young people of your generation often tell me that there's that slight level of guilt, the fact that you're not able to take care of your parents and you're not there when they need you to go on a hospital appointment. Do you feel that in some shade?
Yes, I do feel that, and the thing is, like, even though my family back home in India, I miss them, but still it's like my sister is there. And she is there to take care of them, but when she will go somewhere else, then it will be a problem, big problem for me. And I really feel that, like, sometimes when now my father has learned car, so he can go around and they can go wherever they want. But still, it's like there is a feeling in between. How are they? Are they safe? Where are they? And sometimes when
their well-being and
yeah. And sometimes when I call them, and if I don't get in touch with them, sometimes like the phone is ringing but no one picks up, then I get worried.
So that level of anxiety about how they're doing and the और बच्चों को abroad भेजना is good idea, bad idea? क्या लगता है आपको?
Good idea.
क्यों लगता है? Some things are bad. Well, what is the hardest to deal with? क्या लगता है आपको? क्या एक चीज़ है जो आपको लगता है बस अब मैं उसे फ़ोन करके बोलती हूँ कि अब आ जाओ वापस?
नहीं, ऐसी तो बारी नहीं आई। नहीं, हम तो हर 6 महीने बाद आते रहते, 6 महीना इधर रहते, तो पूरा साल भर का कोटा इधर से 6 महीने में ले जाते हैं।
साल भर का कोटा, okay. Does it make you anxious sometimes when your parents are not around and about their health, about their well-being? How do you deal with that? I mean, obviously there's technology, but when you're at work sometimes, what are they doing? Is their health okay? Is that part of
the kind of immigrant anxious, life? Especially when times like, for instance, they're in hospital or they've got an appointment which is quite sort of which can play on your mind all day. But then technology has become, as you just said, it's become so efficient. You can just Skype, or you can be anywhere really, and you can actually see the situation and feel connected. And but yeah, definitely there are times you can't discount that, and of course you can't even sort of say like there's no replacement. There is definitely no replacement. In fact, I sometimes feel the further you are, it's the anxiety is more. Sometimes when you're in the situation with them, probably you're not as bothered because you can deal with it and you can tackle it. But if you're away, you feel more about it. And there's
and
nothing.
the logistics of taking leave here and going off and seeing them.
But because family first priority, wherever it can be, they take precedence over everything.
Correct.
You see, so whether you're at work, you're in a meeting, you're whatever it is, if there's a need, you step out, make a call, make a Skype call, whatever it is, take a day off or stay at home and really try and connect to and make them feel good. You feel good,
and that's the way it should be. I mean, that's the way parents should, and family should always be first priority. I want to talk to you before we wrap up a bit about grandchildren, and the fact that lots of granddaddies and mummies have told me often that we are quite anxious about how these what kind of kids these are growing up to be. I mean, they don't speak our language, they don't talk like us, and they don't know India. And what's going to happen? I mean, do you feel anxious sometimes? आपको लगता है that level of anxiety that these grandchildren are not going to have any connection at all with India?
हमारा तो कनेक्शन रहता है, अच्छी तरह से रहता है. गुजराती समझता है, बोलता है इंग्लिश में, ब्रिटिश स्टाइल में, चलता है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? No problem.
What about you, ma'am? आपको कभी लगता है कि grandchildren growing up in this country, पता नहीं मराठी बोलेंगे या नहीं, पता नहीं
वो तो सब समझता है. मैं उसके साथ मराठी में बोलती हूँ, वो मुझे इंग्लिश में आंसर करता है.
So you worked out that system, huh? What about
फिर कॉपी भी करता है और थोड़ा बोल भी लेता है मराठी. हाँ.
But आपको ऐसा कभी लगता है that he should speak Marathi all the time, या he should learn more of Marathi?
हाँ, लगता भी है. लेकिन अभी इधर का इंग्लिश है तो फिर चलता है.
बिल्कुल. Well, what about you, sir? How do you, while obviously this must be great, right? When grandparents visit, they can, speak a bit of Marathi, because oftentimes between work and family and all of that, you sometimes lose that connection with India and with language and things like that. How do you manage to work that out?
Well, if you see, my son is away from his grandparents around 5 months, because 6 months my parents live here, and 1 month I go there just on a holiday. So he has got connection for 7 months, and 5 months he is away. But still, I think he missed them. Definitely he missed them. Even though now we tell them that your grandparents will be going on such a day. So he tells that no, I do not want them to go. So he is still not prepared. So we have to prepare them 1 month before that they are leaving.
So a month before that the training begins, that they're going to leave. So don't make a fuss when they go. Okay,
What has happened now? Times have changed. You see, there was a time when there was no connect, and that was because technology didn't support you and so on and so on. So there was this sort of divide between kids who grew up here grew in a silo, for instance. But now kids who grew up here grew up as
there is no silo anymore.
There is no silo anymore. India is
much more easier to connect,
and I think the world has become a smaller place.
The differences between what India is and what the UK is.
And it's not only about people, it's about food, it's about culture. They get exposure to all the Indian festivals, all the food you can find, whatever you want in London. It's not that they haven't tried any type of food or they don't know about it. They might not have it as often as a child growing up at the same age in India, probably. But that's fine. It's not that they're off that. So they're not growing up separate. Not at all.
A cultural bubble at all. Okay.
10 years ago were very different, or 20 years ago very different. Now I think things have changed phenomenally.
Okay. And just before I wrap up, sir, आप इतने महीने रहते हैं abroad, you're here during the summer. आपको कभी बोर नहीं होता, या do you come to a point where you're like, it's time to go home?
मैं ज़्यादा रहता ही नहीं हूँ, 2 महीना ही रहता हूँ. मेरा मैक्सिमम टाइम वही 2 महीना ही होता है.
At the end of
I can enjoy.